The Federation is there to contribute to good governance and to see to it that the statutory contributions that are made by employers and workers on many of the boards, look at NHF, look at NSSF, you look at the National Industry Training Authority, these monies should be utilized to achieve the objectives for which each of those enterprises is set up. In the area of social security or social protection, we have a national policy that's been developed, is pending before Parliament, that seeks to provide basic social protection, and it's in line with international standards. So we want to see to it that when a Kenyan contributes their money towards health cover, or social security, or national training, that money is actually used to make sure that that benefit is attained. When the Kenyan Constitution came out in the year 2010, you saw the impact it had on whoever was holding office nationally. It starts anew. So that's the interpretation that the correct legal interpretation. The new act brought with it a new tenure of office for the office bearers, and the reality is that there's a limit of 6 years that is set, and those who've been reappointed, some are doing their second set of 3 years, some are in the middle of their first term of 3 years, so we will be abiding by the requirements of the new NSSF Act in that regard. Out of a national economy of 1.2 trillion, our understanding is that 568 trillion is spent on wages. Now you can work out the percentages. Figures have been released by other bodies that have studied the level of wages paid in this country against the total national revenues. And they've been in agreement with the fact that we are spending half or slightly more than half of our national income on wages. Studies have been released before this current crisis that show that, and it is true that that is a position. And we have representation on the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, for instance, that's been studying issues of wages and productivity. So the key thing, I think, is for us as a country to study what we need to do to enhance productivity nationally. Because if you're making the money, you can afford to pay. If you're growing by 6%, which is what Kenya is doing, how do you afford to pay 50, 60%? That's simple statistics. So you have to look at the income of an individual employee and their ability to afford ordinary commodities and necessities. Then you look at the impact of the total wage bill in the national economy, and you realize that actually the answer lies in us doing more, producing more, being more efficient in the way that we utilize our resources, and being able to generate that income as a private entity, because we have private schools. And in the public sector, we have to work more efficiently. But certainly the ratio of 52% of your national income going to the wage bill is not just teachers alone, it's the total public sector.